Hey Raiders! Today is Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023, and this is RioTV. Today we will learn about the WASC committee who joined us on campus last week, watch 2 student-made documentaries about the concept of AI art as well as the fast fashion industry, and finally talk to our fellow Raiders to discover what they're excited about. Enjoy!
My name's Angela Parker.
I'm Mr. Kelly. I'm the Rio Americano principal.
My name is Lisa Reese. I am with the WASC committee that's here visiting your school to see if all the things that you say you're working on are actually being worked on and that the students' needs are being met.
I'm one of the members of the WASC committee. WASC is the Western Accreditation of Schools and Colleges. We are here to take a look at all the things, the great things that you're doing and the things that you're working on.
We create what's called an action step or action plan to identify steps that we can take for improvement. Then the team shows up for 4 days and they meet with all the groups and they either acknowledge the areas that we are strong in or that we need support in, and then generally they come up with a couple additional areas that they find that maybe we didn't, that we need to focus on in order to better support students in the community.
It's important because it is what gives your diploma validity.
Transcripts depend on it. So if the school's not meeting the requirements of the state, then your transcripts aren't valid at a college. So we want to make sure that all of those needs are met.
We've had a lot of focus group meetings. We've met with parents, we've met with students, had listening sessions, and we identified 5 areas that we're going to focus on in the future for improvement for school.
All schools have to do this every 6 years. It's a have to, but beyond that, it is a great way for the staff and administration to get together and talk about what we're doing well and what we need to work on and what our goals are, and kind of just really look at doing what's best for students.
So I think the main thing is to keep doing what you're doing. I think some of the programs that you have are amazing. I think that you have some really good ideas about what's good for your school and what's good for your students. And I would encourage students to speak up and talk to the staff about the things you want and the things that you need to be successful.
In a world where technology is constantly advancing, the art world is no exception. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has begun to make its mark on the industry, but not everyone is convinced it's a positive development. AI-generated art, which uses algorithms and computer programs to create images and videos, has become increasingly popular in recent years.
A lot of the apps and just ways of editing images or ways of creating images have become more commercially viable and commercially available. So there are apps like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and then the one that's gotten a lot of buzz is Dolly.
Trends on Instagram and TikTok are spreading where people post pictures of themselves in AI-generated art. Big businesses in Silicon Valley and companies like Microsoft have already invested millions into AI art. But amidst all this excitement, we see many artists concerned for their futures. One major concern is that AI-generated art often steals from existing artwork.
I think, for the majority of the artists kind of practicing, they're not necessarily going to be in danger of, the value of their work being devalued, but what is not being remunerated is the fact that somebody that controls these AI systems that right now are kind of, free to play around with and free to use, but are very soon going to be monetized, that somebody's making a lot of money off of sets of data that have already been produced by a human.
The algorithms used to create the art can be trained on thousands of images, leading to similarities or even outright copying of existing pieces. Even though many can tell that some work was done by AI through distorted parts of the image, very well-generated ones can be extremely challenging to differentiate from actual drawn pieces. In many AI portraits, you can also see signatures that have been blurred or look warped. These are the signatures of the artists that the AI has stolen from. Recently, artists like Carla Ortiz, Sarah Anderson, and Kelly McKernan, along with companies like Getty Images, have even tried to sue AI art tools like Stability AI, claiming that they are stealing work.
Like if you were to say something like, make a comic in the style of Sarah Anderson, it's being, it's really easy to do. In fact, that's what the right, the political conservative right did by kind of co-opting her characters and then writing in words to the characters that weren't even hers and then publishing it as if it were hers.
Another concern is that AI could put human artists out of work. With the ability to produce art quickly and cheaply, some fear that AI could replace human artists in the job market. An example of this happening is the San Francisco Ballet using AI art to promote their production of Nutcracker on Instagram. This is an example of artificial intelligence taking away opportunities from human artists, as the SF Ballet decided to use a program instead of hiring and paying someone to draw a poster for them. When AI art is being recognized instead of actual art made by people, it brings up a lot of concern over the future of artists. The art industry is competitive enough. With programs generating quick and efficient art, companies could pump out large quantities of work with comparable quality to human work. So what can we do to make sure that there is a future for artists? By supporting and hiring human artists, we can ensure that their unique voices and perspectives are not drowned out by AI-generated art.
It's going to be legal stuff, like really boring legal stuff. But I do think, getting all of us like in a room together and like talking to one another, not atomized, like there's power in numbers, there's power in being comrades and being collaborators.
Additionally, speaking out against the use of AI generators to create art for commercial use helps us certify that the art we see and buy is not stealing from existing works. AI art is definitely a new and exciting thing most of the time. It can be fun to see yourself drawn quickly and for free, and it can be a useful tool to visualize things with little effort. However, it becomes a problem when it is actively taking away opportunities from artists and stealing their work for marketing purposes.
And I think that, we're kind of at the turning the bend with both AI and blockchain in ways that I think if we can get it right at the beginning, it will steer the ship in the right direction. If we don't, we're going to have a runaway machine. I think that would be very hard to correct later on.
By valuing the creativity and individuality of human artists, we can ensure that these people can maintain a place in the art world. By doing so, they can be more confident in showing their creativity while looking forward to opportunities to pursue their passions.
When you picture the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, each decade has a distinct style to it. The various leg warmers, bell-bottom jeans, or chunky jewelry that make each era what it truly was. But picturing the last 5 years, you'll find that there's no distinct fashion that has truly stuck. In recent years, trends have gone back and forth from vintage fashion to grunge fashion to more niche styles based on various trends. It appears as though teenagers and young adults nowadays, the target demographic for the latest new style, are going through trends as fast as they blink. But who or what is to blame for the increase in these cycles? The answer is fast fashion. Fast fashion is the term used to describe the cheap, disposable clothing that floods our stores and online marketplaces. Even clothing stores that are popular in malls, such as Zara, Forever 21, or H&M to name a few, are major players in the fast fashion market. Clothing categorized as fast fashion often takes their designs from bigger companies and replicates them using cheaper materials that are environmentally costly and not long-lasting. But what exactly are the environmental costs behind these low market prices? In the next few minutes, we take a closer look at the harmful effects of fast fashion and how our love for constantly cycling through fashion trends is erasing generational fashion. Fast fashion is a relatively new phenomenon, and it is already having a huge impact on the world around us. It is proved to be largely harmful to the environment. It uses up significant amounts of water and pollutes this water with toxic chemicals that come from clothing dye and microplastic. The fashion industry as a whole is responsible for the consumption of 79 trillion liters of water annually, making up about 20% of industrial wastewater. Synthetic materials, such as polyester, are easier, cheaper, and quicker to produce than cotton, and in turn also generate more carbon emissions. Clothes are also starting to pile up in landfills, where mountains of discarded clothing can be seen in dumps. Many brands take advantage of developing countries where environmental regulations are not as strict and where more young, impressionable people, even children, are persuaded to work in unsuitable conditions. Many of these people are thrown into unsafe working conditions with long hours and little pay. Employers are able to get away with this because the fashion supply chain is so quick and complex that it is difficult for businesses to control every aspect of production. This makes it possible to hire children to do labor and clothing to be produced without consumers knowing where it came from. This cycle of buying and disposing is having a detrimental effect on the fashion industry as a whole. In the past, clothes were made to last, and they were passed down through generations. There isn't a specific look for this decade like there was in previous decades, largely due to fast fashion. This makes people feel the need to cycle through trends even quicker. Social media apps like TikTok and Instagram perpetuate new styles and fashion trends and are able to spread to a wider audience. Posts on these apps will often have links to fast fashion sites where a purchase can be made in just a few clicks, often for very affordable prices too. I spoke with high school senior Francis Kasuni for a bit of insight as to what this looks like from the perspective of the target teenage audience.
They're selling clothes to you very cheap that are like exactly what you want to buy, exactly what you see influencers wearing, like, oh, if I wear that, like, it's gonna be cute, it's gonna be an aesthetic outfit. So I definitely say, like, at least for me, like, the affordability of fast fashion honestly is like a big thing. And like the fact that like it's like so trendy, like so on top of the trends, is definitely like an appealing factor. Social media is designed to like sell us products, to get us to buy micro trends. So I definitely have like felt like I've seen an ad for like a piece of clothing and I'm like, ooh, that's cute.
But the influence of social media is also good for spreading awareness about the harm caused by fast fashion.
Most of the information that I've got regarding fast fashion has definitely been online, like honestly, like TikTok, Instagram, like honestly social media has been pretty good at sharing fast fashion, especially since a lot of social media sites are tailored towards like micro trends and like honestly fast fashion, so a lot of like targeting the micro trends, trying to stop micro trends, have been through the same social media sites. So I definitely say online has been the best source of information for me, at least, finding information about fast fashion.
So what can we do to break the cycle? The answer is simple. We need to start thinking about the long-term impact of our choices. This means valuing quality over quantity and investing in clothes that will last. Or, as 17-year-old Maya Yi does it, trying your hand at a creative solution.
Hi, my name is Maya, and I've been combining my love for fashion with my goal to be more environmentally sustainable. When I was younger and I started learning more about how plastic affects the planet and specifically the ocean, I started a project with old t-shirts as a way to recycle t-shirts that were unwanted and make reusable grocery bags. I started getting into sewing when I was like 10 or 11 because it's something that I noticed my mom liked doing, and I thought that the idea of like making my own clothes seemed pretty cool. I've really found that like making my own clothing has made it so I don't have to give money to support the fast fashion industry. Like, it doesn't fit every single body type, and it's also not made to last, so I liked being able to make clothes that last longer than like 2 wears. I hope to one day open my own store or start my own fashion line that's based more on sustainable, long-lasting clothing that also fits and like looks good on every body type.
By changing the way we think about fashion, we can not only reduce our impact on the environment and workers, but also help to preserve the artistry and craftsmanship that makes fashion such a beautiful and important part of our culture. Shopping secondhand can also help. There are many thrift stores that are dedicated to selling secondhand clothing, one popular example being Goodwill. You can also buy this kind of secondhand clothing online with apps like Depop and Poshmark.
I do sell on Depop. I've only sold a couple things so far, but honestly it was like a really easy process. Like, you just post the clothes that you want to sell on Depop, and then Depop handles like the shipping labels and everything and like marketing the clothes.
Both buying and selling on these apps help to contribute to slowing the speed of fashion. It's important for everybody to do what they can to break the cycle of fast fashion and work towards a more sustainable future. With our ever-changing world and its technology, the minds of this generation possess the power to make a change, come up with innovative solutions, and slow the speed of fashion as it cycles through. What's your next course of action?
I'm excited about our honors concert band chamber group night. A lot of groups have been working really hard on it, and it's exciting to show off band at Rio.
College, because high school is taking forever and it gets boring and more boring and more boring every single day.
I'm excited for lacrosse. I get to play St. Francis on Wednesday, so it should be fun.
I'm excited to be done grading a class worth of DBQs.
Spring break.
To leave college, it just seems fun, you know, new friends, environment.
Something I'm excited about is this summer I'm going to go see my family in Russia and Armenia.
I'm excited for my HOSA competition coming up next Friday. We get to be staying at a very fancy hotel and all expenses are paid by the school, so we don't have to pay for anything.
I'm excited for summer and starting to drive because I almost got my permit.
I'm excited about next football season. We're going to be a better team than we were this year. We're going to win a lot more games.
I'm excited to hang out with my friends after school today. I like hanging out with my friends.
I'm really excited about a lot of new movies that are coming out recently. One is the Shazam movie, and I get to see it later today.
I'm excited for spring break to hang out with some friends and just continue my sports.
I'm excited for graduation. Yeah, I just want to walk the stage, get my diploma.
I'm going to a show on Friday. I'm going to a show on Friday with Walker. Come, get over here, get over here. We're going to a show on Friday. This is going to be so awesome. That's what I'm excited about.
As we close out, take a moment to think about what you're excited for. I know I'm excited that you watched this episode of RioTV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.